Okay, so hey everyone, I hope I am visible to you all and audible to you all because this time we are trying different platform and I know that can be something uh, awkward for me as well because I cannot see other faces. I can just see your chats here. So yeah, okay. So I think we are almost there to start for our event. Okay, so hey everyone, once again, welcome to the Atlassian community Faridabad, and it's really good to see such a great turnout today. And also, we are also live on the YouTube and LinkedIn this time. We are trying with different platforms, and we are live on both the platforms right now, the YouTube and LinkedIn. Some folks are joining from LinkedIn, some on YouTube. So wherever you're joining from, drop a quick hello in the chat. I would love to see your comments for the session that you might have. Your comment, you can always feel free to drop your comments in the chat. And yeah, and I want to see how far this community has reached, because there are some co-hosts for this chapter, and I am really thankful for those co-hosts who did the contribution to make this event a success till now. And let's see how it goes. And now I will be honest to you all. I am probably not the right person to deep dive into the topic that we have for today, which is Rovo connectors. I am more like the person who asks why isn't this working yet? So that's exactly why today's session is interesting. And instead of me pretending to explain things, we have got people who actually built and worked on this stuff. So today, we have Valeri. She's the Rovo Queen actually from Atlassian community. And yeah, we have Alix from Unito. She's the solution engineer. And we have Unito team with us as well. So if you have any question around the session, you can ask us and the team will be able to answer you very well. And also a quick note about the community. This month marks 1 year for Faridabad chapter. In the last year, on April 28th, we started this chapter, and from small beginnings to now having a turnout like this that we are seeing today, is pretty much amazing. I say. So big thanks to you all of you being part of it, or even you have joining for the first time today. You are a part of this community, and thank you for joining again. And so yeah, so let's skip the struggling to expectation and get straight to the people who actually know what they are doing. And yeah, really excited to see how it goes. And I would like to introduce one more person here. I am keeping let me take it on the front stage. So hey Sushant,
Hi,
welcome to the
Shivam.
session. So he is my
Thank
co-host.
you so much.
He's been doing a lot with me. He's contributing a lot with me as a co-champion for Faridabad chapter. So welcome to this community again. And you don't need a welcome, I guess. You are already a chapter leader. So yeah.
I just
So
want to thanks my audience to give so much of love there. And we are now like 1+ year old. But yeah, thanks. I just want to say thanks to all of them that they have given me like us to a lot of things to us. And we are more than 600 folks now into this community. We like you started this chapter with some aim. I joined in and we are still growing. I just want to thank all the people out there who just supported us in that way. And that's thank you. Thank you all of them.
okay. So now it's the time to for the show. So let us bring on the stage Valeri, the Rovo Queen. So hey Valeri. Good
Hi, I was
good
just
morning.
wishing you a happy birthday in the chat. I mean,
Oh.
600 people and a strong community that's very engaged is not an easy task. So quite the accomplishment to you both. Thank you for having us. I look forward to talking about connectors with everybody. Again, the new format, we're experimenting, so thank you for being for the grace if we do have any technical difficulties, but it's going to be a good show. We practiced, we prepped, and now it's time. Are we all ready? Are we all
Yeah.
excited?
You can show
We
your excitement in the chat, I guess.
chats,
You can
yes.
Yes. We'll
you
have
can
to
use
figure out a
emojis.
way next time to do it in a meeting room because I do like seeing people's face. But we have seriously been experimenting with technology here, so we can only push it so far. But I'm going to share my screen. I think it's backstage currently. There we go. Welcome all. Do again with multiple screens. I mean, and my nerves. Oh my. Let's see. Where is this one? How do we give AI the right context, not just more data, but the right data across our tools? That's what I invite you to explore with me today. I'm Dr. Valeri Cologne, joined by Alix Egoroff. I butcher her name already. I love you, Alix. Women in tech. Just want to throw that out there. All you women out there, hey. This is Rovo Connectors, because your tools should talk to each other. And let's see if I shared my screen properly and we can get our YouTube intro. If I can find said screen. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. YouTube, anyone? I have too many. Oh, here it is. Sound.
I think audio is not there again.
No audio? Okay, let's stop sharing and reshare the sound. The pressure's on. Dun, dun, dun. Share.
Practice. Whether you're a seasoned expert or a curious newcomer, we invite you to share your thoughts and experiences as we navigate today's topic. If you have a question, ask it in the chat. If you know an answer, please share it. This approach moves newer users towards the inner circle, guided by those with more experience. To truly grasp the platform, we invite you to sign up for a free plan or join our demo site. Hands-on experimentation is the most effective way to learn. Let's embrace the opportunity to harness our collective knowledge, connect, and most importantly, have fun. Because learning together is a journey of endless possibilities. For information on where to view a recording of this session or download a copy of the presentation, please see the course resources.
All right, so the recordings will be available on the YouTube channel for this group and the event itself. And then there should be, if we stream to LinkedIn, there should be the review after LinkedIn on that event page. All right, so we're going to start opening up with a poll on where you guys are all at. So I'm going to stop sharing. Where you guys are all at with your connector journey. Where have you been experimenting? Have you connected a few? Our Mentimeter. Are you ready with the Mentimeter?
Yes.
No pressure, but pressure.
Let me keep on.
No, I like it because one, they get to see your face, but also it takes the pressure off of me. I'll be in the chat, guys, if you want to ask questions.
There's not any pressure, so yeah. Okay. Oh, there is a Rovo Connectors challenge. And yeah,
we need keeps your Menti ready.
So here's the QR code, guys. You can join for the session for the round 1 of the Menti. Because we have two rounds actually here. So this is for the first round. You can scan this and join us.
We have a couple of people joining already.
And I think there is a latency in the YouTube stream. So yeah, people might join a bit later. I might be 15
bit late, yeah,
later.
bit late in that. So it will be a like 15 seconds gap in this. So they'll
but
join.
Look at all those little bobbleheads pop up. People are joining. I love it.
We have 60 live on the YouTube.
Yeah, we have. Yep.
So I did not join this time because I know the spaces are limited on Mentimeter, but I do like to play along, even though it's our own presentation.
If you join the Menti, then that would be not fair for the audience because you already know the answers.
I mean, but it's so much fun.
I'll join Menti too. with my different name.
I know your name, what it is.
I'm a big fan
for it.
Yeah. Big fan.
So if you see this in the chat, then please ping the Sushant like he's sitting here. So, all right. There is a question in the chat from Prashant. He's asking, the video that you have shown is the Loom video. So, Valeri, is that a YouTube or a Loom video?
It's a YouTube video. Sorry, I should use more Looms. I do love Loom, especially their AI features. It's really great for video editing. So you can always look polished, even if you do a video for someone on the fly. But that one's YouTube.
because there is a session yesterday on the Loom, so I guess Prashant is relating with that, if that may be the Loom video. So Prashant may use the Loom video, but yeah, not this time.
Yeah, we can use that Loom also to have that session, but
So
I think we can share that with you, Prashant, how we can make it out and how this you can make it is.
I think we can start if everyone has joined.
Let's do it.
Or you can join in between. So for the first question, you have to answer fast because that's the fastest finger first. So what are Rovo connectors? A way to bring data in or create new data or replace search or remove usage limits. What could be the right answer? You can even mark if you want to play with the audience. Mark wrong. We have a majority of the audience is on bring data in, which is correct. So let's move on to the second question, which is we have 31 players in. Okay.
Before we go on to the second question, although we're going on right now.
Okay. I will.
Can you go backwards? Okay. If you can put in your chat, what is your experience with Rovo connectors? We saw a lot of right answers on question number 1. And then I'm going to flip into some of the slides, and that will give you some context to be ready for the first round of the session. So this was just your warm up, getting you ready to answer, getting you joining the Mentimeter. Although I think that's what it's called, the Mentimeter, Mentimeter. Mentimeter.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll switch. Go ahead.
Yeah. So actually, there's a question from Robert here. Like the questions are not coming up. So Sushant, are you joined? Can you check?
Yes.
So there might be network issue, Robert, with you. So you can try to rejoin with that code, like menti.com or scan the QR here. So, all right, I will move to the second question, Valeri, right? If it is fine.
Yeah, you could do one more question and then we'll hop over the presentation.
Okay. So the second question is, what must happen first? And the options are to clear user prompt first, or the relationship graph, or the data indexing, or the processing of AI request.
And you may not, this is a little sneak peek.
Okay.
Data indexed.
Okay.
That is right.
All right. So I need to switch to your presentation, right?
Yep.
Right.
Keep it backstage, and your presentation is here.
What? Look at that. Smooth transition. We're going to start with how connectors work today, because that drives both troubleshooting and cost. Then we'll look at when they're worth it and when they're not, like when you should not connect something. So you're connecting with intention. We'll hear from Unito, see a live demo, and then do some troubleshooting with data connectors and see where things can go wrong. And then from there, how to scale responsibly. Feel free to drop questions in the chat because I'll be in there as we go, answering those questions live for you. In the last session, we focused on evaluating AI responses and planning where Rovo fits. So we covered the Rovo aspect, and that meant knowing what to trust, when to question results, and how to define clear use cases before scaling. The goal was to move from trial and error to more intentional use. And there is a video of our last session on that YouTube channel. Today, we're going to move into ingrain and scale. At the individual level, this is about using AI consistently with confidence. With connectors, that means knowing when to connect and why. At the team level, it's about expanding that value, connecting the right system. So we're not just individual data, but this whole org's data while managing cost, access, and performance. So what are connectors? You guys got it right in that first Mentimeter. Connectors let Rovo use data outside Atlassian, like Google, Salesforce, or GitHub, so AI can work across tools. They don't create new structures. They map to existing data fields within the Atlassian ecosystem. They also respect permission, so they carry over the permission from that connector and your Atlassian permissions. So users only see what they already have access to. but there are limits to connectors. Rovo only works with what's connected and indexed. So if it can't see it, it can't respond and use that information to respond from it. There are update legs. So if you make a change in one system, it doesn't automatically instantaneously update in Atlassian. So there is some lag there. And capabilities vary by connectors. So some connectors work only in search. Some connectors work in search and chat. There is a reason behind that. It depends on what fields are available and what they can connect to, and then what Atlassian has exposed. So some fields they can't connect to because Atlassian has closed that off or locked that and hasn't given people rights to connect to them. So understanding both what connectors can do and what they can't do is going to be key. So let's look at the connector architect. Don't let this diagram overwhelm you. I know it's a lot of text. So let's go through it from left to right. On the left is where your data lives. The challenge is that teams are working across multiple systems, multiple platforms, multiple apps, but no single place has the full picture. That's where the connectors come in. They pull information in and map it into the Atlassian ecosystem. They index or sync your data into the ecosystem, into Atlassian's internal data model. Now, this is the first point where cost comes into play. So I don't know if you can see my cursor, but we're looking here where it says connectors. This is indexing fees. So that pool of data, when it indexes it or saves that data, there are limits. So in some AI, there are caps to those limits, and if you go over those caps, there's a cost. Currently, there is no cost to going over in Atlassian, but that may change. So pay attention at Teams 26 to see if there are any announcements, and do let me know because I won't be attending. And then there are Atlassian native connectors, and then there are marketplace connectors or premium connectors. Those typically have, the vendor has a fee that is associated with those. So that's your first point of possible cost. So more data means more information to store and process, which directly impacts cost and performance. So you're not just talking about monetary costs, we're also talking about performance costs. The more unstructured data you have, the longer the time it takes for the system to process that data. So you also want to keep that in mind. Next, Rovo uses that data to generate answers. So it indexes it in the internal data model here, which is the teamwork graph, but there's also other models that exist in there, like the permissioning and accessing. And then it pulls it in to Rovo, which is your user interface. Underneath, or sometimes people say on top of, is your large language model. It's really important for people to know the difference. Rovo is an interface, and then you have your large language models like OpenAI, Claude, and Gemini. Then the information is pulled into those systems, and then this is where you interact with it with search, chats, and agents. This is your second point of cost. Rovo has credits, and each org is given credits based on how many users you have and what license level you have. If you go over credits, then there's an opportunity to be charged an additional amount. Again, Atlassian is not currently charging for overages, but you got to pay attention if that changes at some point. So the more queries or the more time you access Rovo and use the information that you have indexed from those connectors, that's an opportunity to use credit, which then goes towards your limit. Permissions from both systems and user level permissions carry through the entire process. On the right side is where the user interacts again, but the output is only as good as what has made it through the earlier steps. So sometimes when people have errors or issues, it's because there's something off in one of these previous steps. It's not necessarily an AI issue. And direction matters. So it should follow where the work happens. So everybody has connectors. All of these apps have connectors. Microsoft has connector to Atlassian. Atlassian has connectors to Microsoft. So which way should you do it? So you should connect to where the work happens. For example, If your team works in Jira but needs customer context from Salesforce, you should connect Salesforce into Atlassian. But if your sales team needs delivery visible, like delivery schedules visible, you might push Jira into Salesforce instead. Now, syncing does matter. So there is indexing, which just pulls the information in and stores it. And then there's syncing, which pushes the information back and forth. You'll hear from Unito that they have a sync system going on. So it constantly updates that information. Again, if you have questions, throw them in the chat, because when Unito comes on, I'll be answering all the questions in the chat. Now, what is good and bad connector use cases? That's the real question. Is it worth it? Connectors add value when decisions depend on data from multiple systems. So if you don't need to make a decision off of multiple data from multiple systems, just don't connect it. Use that one primary system. That's where time shifts from searching to acting. That's where you gain in productivity. They work best when the data is used often and is structured enough for AI to interpret it. So if it's unstructured data, your data team may need to go in there and put some structures around it so that it reduces processing time. AI can provide more meaningful results. Where they fail is over-connecting. Don't connect everything. Not only is that very expensive, but it also costs in performance. More data usually means more noise, and that AI has to shift through, and more cost. Sensitive or low value data adds risks without improving decision making. So sensitive data is like if you're going to import something that has everybody's social security number, you're increasing your risk more than you're providing meaningful information for your AI to search through. And unclear ownership just exposes existing problems faster. So if no one's maintaining your connectors, they're just going to cause challenges, cause issues, throw errors more than they're going to help people out, and people are going to get frustrated. So the goal isn't more data, it's better context with that data. Now we're going to jump back to our Metimeter and finish up round one. No pressure.
Definitely.
It's all you now.
Okay, so let me keep back again that Menti presentation. So if you have been left here, so you can rejoin again that session. And I know there is a latency between the time, so I will wait for 15 seconds so you can have enough time to join the Menti quiz again. So we have around 70 or 80 people live on our stream. I can expect 30, I guess.
There's Fabio. Fabio, I see you.
We have a comment from
Fabio's holding it down. He's a community champion out of Italy.
He's like a pro, I would say. He shared an article, I guess, on the CRM with the Jira.
Yes.
And that's amazing.
Kind of.
I saw that.
Kind of, yes.
Okay, so let us start with that, Menti. Okay, so the third question is connect archived Google documents.
Is this a good use case? Should you connect archived Google Docs to Confluence? From what you heard in the presentation, you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
Valeri is taking your exam here.
Dun, dun, dun. It's a bad use case, but why? Why is it a bad use case? It's because it's archived data. And archived data doesn't necessarily give your team that context that it needs in order to make relevant current information. If you do have anything that is in your archive that is valuable to today's decision making, it probably shouldn't be archived.
Okay.
Next question.
So moving on to the next.
You do not have to scan the code every time.
Yes. Connect data talks to Jira. It's a good use case or bad use case. So I think Menti is actually syncing live and YouTube is a bit late.
Bit late, yeah. YouTube is a bit late.
Look at that response. Yes. So that is a good use case. So Datadog, people use it a lot. It's very helpful for decision making. It gives you that context, and it'll boost your Jira. So that's a great use case.
Okay, so I think now to time seed the leaderboard of first round, who are on the top. Amazing.
All right.
So you can see only top 10 users here. So the top one.
Oh, look at how it's switching. Is that Monica on round one?
Yes. So Monica, Anamika.
Monica is leading the board for now.
Amazing. Okay.
Great job, everyone.
Okay, so now I will stop sharing my Menti and will over to Valeri.
Now the pressure's back on me. Are you ready? Now let's see this in practice. I'm going to hand it over to Alix from Unito and walk you through a real connector example. Now, as you listen to Alix, I want you to consider as an audience, how would you evaluate connectors and connector vendors? What skills, what information are you looking for to see if this connector or this vendor will work well for you? I'll be in the chat giving you ideas on how to evaluate whether various connectors or vendors are right for you. We all have those vendor horror stories. So consider where things went wrong and where you could set yourself up and your team up for success here. I'm gonna stop sharing. Back over to you, Alix. Women in Tech.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Alix, as they mentioned before. I am a solutions engineer at Unito, and I'm just going to give you a brief presentation today talking about Rovo, talking about integration. It's going to be very exciting. So I'm just going to share my screen. Excuse me. I believe we are good to go. So what is Unito? Unito is a new, simpler approach to integration powered by live two-way sync. We are a fully configurable, no-code solution with true two-way sync out of the box, and we have an extensible enterprise platform. We connect with over 60 plus tools, syncing your tasks, your incidents, your records across all different places. Quick credibility check. We are an Atlassian marketplace partner, and we are trusted by enterprises worldwide. Let's go here. So the challenge is that AI, such as Rovo, can only work with what it can see. Rovo and AI-powered tools promise smarter workflows, so search, chat, agents, automation, but AI can only work with what it can see directly. So, Confluence, Jira, Loom, Trello, Jira Service Management, the whole Atlassian shebang there. Most critical business lives outside of Atlassian. So you have your revenue in Salesforce, your inventory in ERPs, your customer data in CRMs. The result is that AI makes decisions with an incomplete picture. The promise of AI falls short when the data isn't there. So this I'm sure you've seen. It's Atlassian's teamwork graph. It's a knowledge model connecting work, people, and tools across Atlassian's suite there. It's a mental map of all the work items from Atlassian's various tools and how they relate to one another. Now, you might be familiar with assets. Assets are a part of the teamwork graph. They were previously specific to Jira Service Management, but Atlassian has materialized them into their own platform app. Assets enable Atlassian users to extend work to what appears beyond the teamwork graph, modeling how their businesses should work. Rovo can then read assets to understand relationships between systems, services, people, and work. But natively, assets only contains Atlassian-owned data. The graph has a boundary. Critical business context from external systems can't get in, and Rovo cannot then read it. So what happens when AI is missing context? Rovo can't answer questions such as which customers bought this product or which accounts need action. They have incomplete answers. Delivery teams are still logging into tools such as Salesforce for context, and AI workflows will miss revenue contracts or inventory data. So teams will hold status meetings to fill the gaps that AI should be filling, and they'll lose time and momentum by manually updating those systems, which AI is supposed to really help save time on, relieve that pressure. So the solution is to feed the AI the cross-tool data that it's missing. Unito is the only integration platform that supports two-way sync between assets, Rovo, and external systems. Native and custom objects from Salesforce, ERPs, CRMs, and PM tools can be injected into assets, and data is kept continuously up to date. It is not a one-time import. So we have a two-way sync, updating assets from external tools and then external tools from assets. Rovo now sees the whole picture, and you can model your business as it actually operates. So there are 4 categories of data that teams typically need inside of Atlassian, but currently live in external systems. So first you have commercial data, so accounts, active contracts, and renewal dates. Delivery teams would be able to get revenue context without the need of a CRM license with the integration being activated. Then you have financial and ERP data, so purchase orders, invoices, and vendor records. So teams working in Jira can see the financial side of what they're delivering. Thirdly, you have IT service context, incidents, SLAs, and configuration items where ops teams can now get the full service picture inside of Atlassian. And finally, inventory and operational assets. So product catalogs, SKUs, stock levels, whether it's tracked in NetSuite or an Airtable, it can now live in assets. All of this stays in a continuous two-way sync. So it's not a one-time import, it's a live connection. And once it's in assets, Rovo can see it, query it, and act on it. So what changes when Rovo has access to all this external data through assets? First, Rovo can answer questions that span across tools. A delivery manager can ask which purchase orders are tied to a specific account without ever opening Salesforce. Secondly, workflows can trigger based on live, real data, not stale exports, not manual updates, actual current states from your systems of record. And third, and this is the one that saves the most time, data stays current automatically. No more copy pasting between your tools, no more Monday morning syncs. It's just there, it's in sync. And this is the shift from AI that knows about Atlassian to AI that knows about your business. You have that full context and it's able to pull from it. So before we dive into the demo, we wanted to take a quick second to show you how easy it is to connect your tools and get started with Unito. So we have this pre-recorded video on how to do so. I'm just going to hope that my audio works here. Let me know if it does not.
Before we dive into the live demo today, I
It's
wanted
good.
to take a second to show just how easy it is to get set up with Unito in order to build your first flow. So you'll want to navigate to app.unito.io. From there, you'll be prompted to either sign up or log in. And from there, you'll be able to create your first flow. You'll see there are a few steps here in order to configure your flow, but the first one is configuring your tools and authenticating them. So from this side, let's say I select Asana, I will be prompted to add a new account, which I can authorize. Excellent. And then on the right-hand side here, I will want to sync work from Jira Cloud. From here, once again, I am prompted to add a new account. And it's as simple as adding my Jira URL. I will click authorize. Click accept. And it's really as easy as that. I have now authenticated my tools on either side, and I'm ready to start setting up my flow where I can decide which workspaces I want to sync from, whether I want to sync projects, portfolios, and the like, and vice versa on the other side. With that, I will pass it back to Alix.
Great.
Now, Alex, I have a question for you. Can I jump in?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do I have to set up on the Rovo side or on the Atlassian side? Because I know you set up like the pairing between the data. Like, did you have to do? Was there a step before that where you were in the Atlassian ecosystem and you added that connector?
Nope, nothing that wasn't shown in the video is more than you have to do. So essentially, you're just logged into the account you'd like to connect, and the steps that we showed is what authorizes the tool in your ecosystems. And then from there, you can either connect your assets, you can connect directly to Rovo, whatever sort of orientation you want to do, because we do connect with all of Atlassian's products, Confluence, Jira Cloud, you can select from there. So nothing that you actually need to do inside of Jira. Those steps where you sort of enter your URL and click authorize are all you need to do.
That's awesome. So I see that you guys have an Outlook connector. Do you happen to know if you have a Teams connector as well?
It's not currently available, no, just sort of Outlook. Then we have Excel and a few of the other Microsoft suites there, but unfortunately not Teams directly right now. We do Slack though, if that's also accessible for people.
Sounds good. That was just a question in the chat. I thought I'd throw at you and throw you from your pace. I'm sorry. I love you. Virtual hug.
Worry.
Get back.
Okay, so live demo. So today what we're going to be showing is a two-way sync between Salesforce and Atlassian assets powered by Unito, bringing commercial data like purchase orders, accounts, and product SKUs directly into Atlassian, and basically give Rovo the ability to query that data. So we'll run a little Rovo search at the end there. So why it matters, the delivery teams get a full visibility on what is being sold, revenue, and customer context without needing Salesforce access. So extending the Atlassian teamwork graph with structured business data. The key benefit is because the sync runs both ways and preserves relationships, updates stay aligned across systems, and you don't actually have to leave your respective tools in order to surface updates to the other side. So sales and delivery collaborate without duplicate work or lost context. So I'm going to hop over here. So as you know, assets is powerful for modeling structured data inside Atlassian, but critical business data often lives elsewhere, like Salesforce. With Unito, you can sync that commercial data directly in assets and keep it continuously up to date. I'm showing you one example today of that syncing. So Salesforce purchase orders here to assets, which I've created an asset called purchase order itself. So let's start by having a quick look into the flow that I've already configured in Unito. So this is something that I've already launched. It's already syncing data. So we're going to hop into our first step, which is the tool selection page. Just going to give this a moment to load. Great. So from the top here, we're selecting the the tools we're looking to sync between, the account with which you're using to connect to those tools. So as you saw earlier, with the entering your URL or just the one click for the authorization, then we're selecting the objects that we're looking to sync between. So we have our purchase order from our Jira assets, and then we have a custom record in Salesforce called purchase order as well. So we're syncing the information that is related to the purchase orders and then the fields on those objects. And you can see here that I have the sync direction set to bi-directional. So I can create on either side and have it sync to the other tool. Now I want to note here, this is going to be independent of the direction of updates. So you can absolutely select, say, like a unidirectional flow here. We're only creating assets into Salesforce, but still have your Salesforce assets update back to the ones that were created from Jira. For the purposes of today, we're going to have it be bi-directional. And I will go to our third step, actually, just to show you the kinds of data that we're looking to sync between the tools. So each of these are a field that exists on my purchase orders, and we're able to configure the accounts that exist between the two tools. And all of these, the products, the accounts, are synced and tracked by Unito. So you can make updates to any of these items and they will update back and forth. So we have 3 products, we have our accounts, we have our status here as well, where we can basically configure that something is action needed or something has been delivered on either side. Now I'm going to go into Salesforce and I'm going to create a purchase order. Let me know if this is small. Salesforce has very tiny UI. can make it maybe a bit bigger there. So we can add Unito as an account here, and let's add some products. And we'll have a needs action status, and we'll save this. Now, typically, syncing takes between 30 seconds and a minute to go through. So while we wait for that to sync up, I'm just going to hop back over to our rules page. And we can see basically a page where you can filter down, excuse me, you can filter down the exact items that you'd like to sync. So you're defining the filters to control what syncs between the tools, and you can add a condition for a time frame for only those related to key accounts. So say, for example, if I wanted to have a created at, I can only sync items within the last month, within the last year, really keep that data fresh and relevant to what my team is working on. So a little bit to what Valerie was talking about earlier, that, you know, not syncing all that stale data. You can control exactly when your data is most relevant and have only that sync between your two tools. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a little sip of water here. So since I've already synced this flow, I can see my list of purchase orders that has already come through. Now, I believe we're going to do a quick refresh here. And if the demo gods are with me, we have our new purchase order that came through. And we can see that it came through with the account, the products that I've added here, and the status as well. So what I can do here is I can switch the action to closed, and that can sync back to our Salesforce to say that the status has been closed, the object has been actioned, and we can now continue on with the rest of our work without ever having to leave our tool. Now, what's interesting here is we can open our Rovo here. So once it's in assets, it is now queryable. And with Rovo, you do have to enter a command here for search assets. But we can ask simple questions like, how many purchase orders are associated to the account Unito? We'll give Rovo a moment to think here. So there are 4 purchase orders associated to the account. It gives you the name of the purchase order, the status of it, and what needs to be actioned. So you're able to see all of the information and have Rovo search this. So it's super easy, super accessible, and you don't have to go manually clicking through and sort of be wondering what's going on between the two systems here. So I believe we can hop back over to our purchase order here. And we can see the status has been delivered. So the information is syncing live between the two, and you can surface as many updates as you need between your two systems and have that live data in sync all the time. So I'm going to basically hop back here. That is the end of my presentation today. If you want to meet up with us and talk further, we will be at Atlassian Team 26. We'll be in booth 209. You can talk to our Chief Executive Officer, Mark, and our Strategic Partnership Lead, Laurent, and they would be more than happy to accommodate you there. I'll pass it back to Valerie.
A couple questions.
Yes.
Are you ready for them, Alix?
Absolutely.
Do you have an email address that we can contact you directly? Not you specifically. I mean, we could, if you want to give us your email address, but you need to have an email address that if people had questions right away after this presentation that they can contact you directly.
Yes, we have a few. I believe I can write it in the chat for them so that they can copy paste. Is that enough, or do we want to pull it up here?
Yeah, I think there is a post in the chat at unito.io/contact. Is that good?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Perfect. So just to remind everybody, if you respond back to the emails that you get from this event, they go to Atlassian and we may not get them. So we won't be able to answer your questions through that portal. You have to contact us directly. So it's good to have their contact information if you have specific questions. They have over I want to say over 60 connectors in there.
Yeah.
And the reason why I did this partnership with Unito is they're one of the first people to create a marketplace connector with Atlassian. That is significant. They went through all of the bumps and bruises of being a trailblazer. It's not easy. And it's also not, when I ask people to consider the questions that they ask when evaluating a vendor, it's very important that there are certain criteria that that vendor meets. And Unito was one of those ones that met those criteria for me. One of the major themes that we had in the chat was about security. Now, Amanda did answer the security question. I think you're ISO certified, something like that. It was, yes. SOC 2 Type 2 certified with strict security measures in place to ensure protection of our customers' data. Now, whenever we talk data, we have to discuss security because now you're connecting your Atlassian system into an external system and moving data between the two. So the process of moving data creates a vulnerability of that connection, and then you're exposing the data in both systems. So it's good to see that you guys have that certification in place. Prashant and I want to say Carla and one other person, Tushkar, was asking about cybersecurity around connectors. And Atlassian has just announced a change or a shift in their data collection policy around metadata. And I don't know if one of our amazing mediators can drop the link to that announcement or that page in the chat. It's on the Rovo Slack channel, and it's also on the announcement page in our Slack. But basically, in order to train or improve the responses of Rovo, they are going to collect some metadata. And there's only certain circumstances where you can opt out. So basically, if you're an enterprise level, you can opt out. Otherwise, you're opt in. And why is this a concern? Well, Prashant was asking about, is Atlassian ready for highly regulated organizations? I can't answer that for you. I can give you lots of opinions, though. Some of my clients, this policy is going to hit them hard because it's going to be another 6 months of evaluation for their cybersecurity teams to see if it meets their cyber requirements. In highly regulated organizations, you have things like data residency. And when this comes into place is if they're collecting your metadata and using it to inform a large language model. Atlassian doesn't train large language model on premises on any of their cloud environments. So they send that data to a third party. And in cybersecurity, anytime data is sent to a third party, you really got to look at it closely. So they're sending it back to Gemini, OpenAI, the main source of those large language models. And you have to look at how they're using that data, what specifically they're storing, ensuring no personal identifiable information is being sent over the channels, and there's no vulnerabilities there. So that caught my eye, most definitely. I haven't gone deep into this policy. It literally came out 2 days ago. But I do encourage everybody to take a look at the policy, what it means for your location. I can give people advice and have comments about the US government, but it varies from country to country on whether or not Atlassian has met those standards. But we should have a class all in and of itself just about security. So I'm going to add that to our list. I know we only have 10 minutes left, so I'm going to share my screen again. And jump back into the presentation. Are you ready? Troubleshooting connectors. Most connectors, am I visible? I am visible. Man, you guys are right on it. Most connectors most connector issues or errors follow a pattern. First, check if it's connected and authenticated. That's why I asked Alix to go back one more time and just, is there anything else that I have to connect with the connector? Because 9 times out of 10, it's not as easy as what Unito has set up. They have one space, one screen that you connect both systems. Sometimes you have to go into Atlassian and go into the admin center in Atlassian and then go into the admin center in that connector. So like in the Google connector setup, you go from your admin page, then your admin page directs you to your Google admin page, and then you have to connect both sides. And sometimes people connect one side and not the other. And in larger organizations, sometimes your Atlassian admin is not your Google admin. So you have to get your Google admin in the room with you, or at least paying attention so that they can give you the permissions you need to make that connection happen. And excuse me, initial indexing can take minutes to hours and sometimes up to 24 hours for large systems. This tends to throw people off. So minutes to hours and sometimes over 24 hours if you're indexing a lot of information. If it takes longer than that, check the status in your admin board through your admin channel, and then contact support and let them know so that they can help you reinitiate that index. If you're missing data, it usually means it wasn't indexed or not included. Things that are not indexed are things that don't match or map correctly to what's in Atlassian. Sometimes that can be an error. Like sometimes there is a field to connect to, but that connection was never made. But sometimes those connections don't exist, or they're closed off by Atlassian and you can't index to them. So you have to understand what information is going between systems. That is another way to evaluate your vendors, is asking them specifically, what fields did you map? Can I use chat? Can I use this in search? Or can I use this in agents? Or can I use them in all three? Remember, connectors map to existing fields. They don't create new ones. Then there's permissions. If you can't access it in the source, it won't show up in Rovo. So, and if you do, it's definitely an error. So keep that in mind. You may need to check your permissions and see if you were allowed access to that data if it's not showing up. Then there are sync delays. Updates aren't in real time. And finally, if results seem off, it may not be connectors. It may be dirty data. It may be the prompt that you have. Typically, AI reasons over information while automations act on it. So if you're asking chat to perform an action based on your indexed information, there's a lot that goes into it. And 9 times out of 10, people are asking something that is more suited for an automation. So consider that when you're asking Rovo to perform for tasks that are better suited for a more structured workflow. Now, you can in Rovo create those automations within that workflow, but that workflow has to be set up. Next, what you connect directly impacts both your results and your potential costs. High value, frequently used data gives AI clear signals, so answers improve. But low value or rarely used data adds noise and increased costs, both financial and performance, without much benefits. Sensitive data adds risk. So you can connect sensitive data. I'm not saying don't connect your sensitive data. I'm just saying if you do connect to sensitive data, 1, make sure you use it like it's often used. And 2, you have identified the risks that you're asking and mitigating them. There's no such thing as getting rid of all risk, but there are putting systems in place to mitigate or lower that risk. Duplicate data creates conflicting answers. So if you're always getting conflicting answer, check if you have conflicting information. So the goal is to be selective and connect the right data to improve decisions. The wrong data adds that confusion. Scaling starts with governance. If you don't understand what the connector does or how your data is used and retained and kept, don't deploy it. Start small and validate value before expanding. Like you need to see your ROI or your return on your investment on your cost, whether it's number of resources used or financial costs, before you make it bigger. Because the last thing what you want to do is scale up connector use and then realize it's going to cost you a ton that you can't afford, and then have to scale back and tell all your users, actually, you can't use that connector. So monitor usage, accuracy, and cost. Low usage means there's a signal problem. Maybe that data shouldn't have ever been connected. And scale based on outcomes, not availability. Just because a connector exists, allergies, sorry, y'all. Just because a connector exists doesn't mean you should connect it. sometimes connectors are all or nothing. And I ask you to avoid those connectors because all or nothing connectors end up indexing things that they don't necessarily need to index. And it's not worth that value. So now we're going to move on to round 2 of our Metimeter. And I'll pass it over to you all.
Here it is again, Mentimeter. So you can join us again with the QR or the code. You can use this Mentimeter code on the menti.com. And one announcement that I missed from the start. So for the winners of these 2 rounds, we are giving away the vouchers, the gift vouchers to the winners. Like for the first one, I guess Monica is there. And for the second round, we are about to see that, like who is getting on the top. So for the 2 winners, we are giving the not certification, the gift vouchers. So please try to interact with the quiz, and yeah, you will be getting the voucher. You can connect with me on the LinkedIn after the session, whoever wins the round 2. So I will wait for a few seconds, then we will start with round 2. And we have dropped a few profiles here in the chat, and the links that are valuable for you. You can explore those to know more about, or maybe even connect with the Unito team or with us or with Valeri to answer your queries. We are available for you most of the time, maybe.
No worries, Prashant. We have 2 more rounds.
Okay, so I think we can start if everyone is there.
Yes, Tushar, you are also eligible. You can join that round.
Okay. So round 2, first question. If you don't have access in the source system, Rovo won't show data.
Is that
True or
true or
false?
is it false?
Let's see. And the time for results, it is true.
It is
Majority.
true. So those permissions carry through.
Okay. Okay, with the second question of round 2, which is connectors always update data in real time. I think that we have already covered.
You all should get this one right.
The audience have to do it right. And again, it's the fastest finger first. So if you are answering it right first, you are getting the points. So only few of you are right here, only 11 of you. So the next question number 3rd of round 2. With that, and the question is NetSuite contract data for JSM. Do we have to connect it or we don't need to connect? Is it what to connect or not? Let's see.
So should you connect this or not connect this? NetSuite contract data to JSM. It is a yes. And why is it a yes? Because NetSuite provides up-to-date valid information that you could use in your JSM to track information about various different customers or how they're using their systems. So that's kind of your measure is it up-to-date information that people would use to make current decisions?
Okay. So second last question of round 2. You only have 2 questions to get into the leaderboard.
Should you sync your personal Google Drive?
Okay, let's see. Don't connect. Nobody wants to connect their personal drives.
As much as
And
I love what's in my personal Google Drive, I don't think the company should be spending money to sync that data over. Not to mention the security issues behind that.
Mhm. Okay, so the last question for round 2. It is the time. It is the show time, guys.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the last question is financial reports used only once per year. Do you need to connect or not? Is it good to connect or not good? Let's see what audience says. And they say don't connect.
Don't connect, but why? So you're only using this financial data once per year. If you're a financial organization and you're working with this data all the time, then I would say, yeah, connect that financial information. But if you're only using it once per year, it's not worth the indexing costs or the security costs to connect that financial information. All right, now we're going to flip back over to the presentation. Oh, wait, we got to see the winner.
Yes.
Who won round
Oh.
2?
Okay.
We have one more question.
Okay.
more
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
One more question, guys.
One last
Best
one.
way to scale connectors, which is ignore usage, start small, or skip the ownership, or connect all. Skip everything, like connect all and leave it.
I always love it when people connect all and then just walk away and be like, who's managing these connectors over here? Anyone?
And most of you are right. Start with the small.
Small one, yes.
Okay, now it's time to see the leaderboard. And on the top, oh, it is, we have Repeat. I think that's a AI generated name. So can you please mention your name in the chat? So, or maybe DM me on the LinkedIn with the screenshot so that I would be able to give you the gift voucher that we have. And yeah, thanks for participating in the quiz. Now over to you, Valeri, to conclude the session.
All right, our final slide, I know we're 1 minute over. Our final slide is not to be missed, though. This is for people that want to get into the connector game. All right, opportunities for connect. You guys, again, with the transitions are too smooth. If you are building connectors, start with a real problem, not just ideas. Look for gaps from where teams lack context across the systems. Use JAX, so the Jira user request board, and the Rovo Q&A board in the community forum to spot patterns. In the Q&A forum, I help create identifiable patterns for people that are opportunities to build on. See what users need but don't have. At the same time, avoid areas that Atlassian is likely to solve soon. So if they're going to solve this with a connector or with a feature in the next year, it's not worth the build time to create that connector. But if it's small, if it's something that Atlassian probably isn't going to touch, then it's definitely worth that investment. The best opportunities sit in the gaps where better context improves decisions. Now, if you want to get into the connector game, my pro tip for you is to take a course from Anthropic Academy. So what you have in the Atlassian learning is the user interface. It's very focused on the user interface part. A course from Anthropic will give you an idea of the large language side. And sometimes my ability to answer questions in the Q&A is because I know about the large language side and I know about the interface side. And when you know about them both, it's easier to spot where issues come into play, and it's easier to spot opportunities. You don't need to know all the coding that comes with coding for large language models. You can avoid all of those classes. Just get the context between how the two work together. Vibe code your way into connectors. So thank you all. Before wrapping up, please do drop any takeaways or final questions in the chat. I'll get you those answers. I'll stay on a few more minutes. But thank you to our hosts. You guys, Shiev and Sat, have made it so much easier to provide these courses to such a large audience. Thank you all for attending. And I hope that this course has led to using connectors for AI and making smarter, safer, more effective tools across your across your ecosystem to make those decisions. And I'll see you next time. Thank you, Unito. I forgot Unito. And if you have any questions, I am Valerie. You can find me on LinkedIn or connectcentric.com. We're here for you. Hosts, any final words?
And the final words are like, just I want to say like thank you, because that's a anniversary event and a lot of people have been shown up. Like I can see more than 100 have been checked in the session, and that's like quite amazing for me. Like I cannot even imagine like 100 plus are there listening about Rovo connectors, listening us, and yeah, that's amazing. And congratulations to the winners who won the both of the rounds. And yeah, see you all in Team 26 if you are attending.
See you guys later.
Thank you, Alix and Valeri, for this session.
And major thanks to Unito team, basically.
Unito team, basically. Yeah, thanks to Unito team for that connectors and all. So thank you so much for your session.
So, I think we have a few members on the backstage from Unito. So if they're like, say, like we can add on this frame so that they can have a word with the audience.
Yes, bring them up. Amanda, Jeffrey.
Hey.
Hey, everyone. Thanks so much. This was awesome.
But real quick, what do you guys do for Unito? Amanda, then Jeffrey.
Yeah, I do product marketing here at Unito, so I get to dig into all our different connectors and work on awesome presentations like this with Alix. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, so I head of marketing at Unito, so I work with Amanda and the rest of the team to work on all marketing subjects. So happy to be there, and thanks for everyone for joining, obviously.
Thank you guys for showing up. Also, I thank you guys for working with me on developing this presentation. Amanda came through with some clarifications of terms. A lot of things that people miss is it's kind of hard to describe all of emerging technologies terminology. And when you don't use the right language in describing things, it can get very confusing. So Amanda came through in the clinch and helping explain how to present the difference between those native connectors, the marketplace connectors, and what we're coining premium connectors, the connectors that are designed for enterprise systems that offer a unique value that isn't for everybody, but you really do need to understand if you're enterprise, it is worth the investment. So thank you for the collaboration. And guys, can we collaborate again? Not to put you on spot, but can we do it again?
Yeah,
Let's do it again.
We'd love that.
We've got it on camera, so let's do it.
I know. I just need our moderators. You're important too in this. Can I get a yes to you too? You guys as well?
A big yes. A big
Yes?
yes.
All right.
A big yes.
Reach out to us anytime for these kind of sessions.
Please.
All right. Well, then I'll see you guys for our next session soon. Keep an eye out for the audience on when that will be.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Thank you.
To wrap
Have
up,
a great Friday.
happy weekend, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Happy weekend.
Bye.
Happy weekend. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.